What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Chicky Jim at Full Grip Games. Going to be showing off Kian Amini's Reshiram and Charizard deck that he used to win the Santa Clara Regional Championships in today's video. A very unique take on Reshiram and Charizard relies on Green's Exploration as the draw engine for the deck instead of the popular Turbo engine with Jirachi and Dedenne GX. No ability Pokemon in here, just 4 copies of Volcanion, a couple of Reshiram Charizards, and an Eevee Snorlax-GX, which is also an interesting inclusion, but great for taking down evolution Pokemon, and also just cool for having a different type weakness as well. Very strong deck. The Volcanions are great starters and also work as phenomenal non-GX attackers, taking out Zapdoses very easily and also allowing the deck to knock out Hoopas with the inclusion of Professor Kukui, which we do have in this list as well. We're going to be going first. It looks like I am not going to be accelerating onto my Reshiram Charizard with a Welder here turn 1, so we'll just throw Eevee and Snorlax into the active and see what we get off the top deck here and what we are playing against. Ferryman 651. All right, they've got a Spiritomb. Let's see it. We've got Volcanion and Power Plant early. Very good as well. I feel like Kian definitely relied on the quick Power Plant strategy in order to disrupt his opponent. We can Green's Exploration for Welder and a Fiery Flint. That is away, and then next turn we can Welder and start taking knockouts with Eevee Snorlax. It's probably fine just to get up and going. This is definitely a difficult list to play. Those of you guys that caught me on stream know that this list is not for the faint of heart. There are a lot of decisions to make, like how do I route every single turn when I get to select exactly the cards that I want out of my deck turn after turn. So definitely a tough one for sure. I think I'm going to Fiery Flint away the Nest Ball and the Judge, get myself all those energies out of the deck. And then we're going to be looking at a turn 2 Dump Truck Press, which is fine. I will play the Power Plant just in case my opponent plans on trying to set up with any ability, Pokemon EX or GX, Tapu Lele, or Dedenne GX. Early Power Plant is a great way for this deck to shut down the opponent's strategy, stopping the popular Dedenne GX and Tapu Lele. We see that they did start an Ultra Ball, so if they're playing an EX GX focused deck, they can get let loose, but it looks like they are actually going to be going for Hoopa. So this could be a attacking Hoopa deck that utilizes Hoopa and Umbreon to just chip away at the opponent's health. And I see they are playing Devoured Field. Interesting deck. We do play Kukui, so Volcanion should be able to come in pretty clutch here in this matchup. And I'm glad I didn't really bench too many other Pokemon here. Totally fine with this. We're just going to Welder to the active. I mean, I'm going to have to swing with the Snorlax, and I plan on eventually powering up some Volcanions here to trade with my opponent. So we've got the 3, we need 4, and then we've got Pokegear in my hand, but I'm just going to wait until next turn to play that since I already have, we don't have the extra energy. Maybe I will dump Megaton Friends eventually as well, which could be super good. However, Reshiram and Charizard GX's GX attack is also good against Hoopa. Double Blaze GX can hit through Hoopa's Scoundrel Guard ability if I have all 6 energy on it, since it does ignore, and this attacks damage is not affected by any effects on your opponent's Pokemon. Scoundrel Guard is technically an effect on my opponent's Pokemon, so Reshiram and Charizard's GX attack would ignore that. Another interesting thing about this list is that we do play the Hood, right? We play the Hood card in this deck in order to attack into Vileplume, which was popular at the Santa Clara Regional Championships. Unfortunately, since Hoopa's Scoundrel Guard ability is not an effect on Eevee Snorlax or Reshiram and Charizard, the Hood does not actually work against Hoopa. It only works against Vileplume, since Vileplume does put an effect on us, on our active Pokemon. Go ahead and Pokegear. See, we got nothing. Just a hot nada. That's fine. We'll greens exploration. We can go and just get some other cards, honestly. Let's just get it. We can custom catcher or get another Fiery Flint, and then maybe I can dump truck press. I actually like that. That could be good. But I am not hitting through this Hoopa. That is for sure. Unless I get to custom catchers and I custom catcher around this dude, which seems sketch. Because I really wish I had a fire energy in my hand so I could make the most out of this. Kind of need to get another greens here. Could switch, Heat Factory. Probably cool. Let's just get... Could get an Acerola. Okay. We're just going to get these. I don't really feel like losing my Eevee Snorlax, so I think that I am probably going to just end up Acerola-ing this thing and then continue on with my Volcanion in the active, so that's fine. I know that my opponent's not going to knock me out this next turn. We kind of need to just route this very slowly, even though that's unfortunate. I could have gotten a Welder, and I guess next turn I could retreat the Eevee Snorlax, Fire Crystal Welder onto a Volcanion, but I don't really want to two-hit KO the Hoopas either. I want to make sure that I'm able to get some actual momentum going. So we'll take this Super Cybolt here. That's no problem. My opponent should not be able to deal enough damage to knock out my Eevee Snorlax. 110 damage if they have a Choice Band. 120 will still put them short of a knockout. So we can greens exploration, which should be fine, and get myself some other cards out of the deck. Let's just, I'll Acerola first. Let's do that. Gonna promote Volcanion. It's fine. We save ourselves the trouble of having to get that 3 prize Pokemon knocked out, and then we're just gonna flood the field with Volcanions and start to accelerate some energy into play with Flare Starter. Then I'm going to eventually greens exploration here for some Professor Kukuis and hopefully be able to take out some Hoopas with Professor Kukui. But we could see how frustrating this will be. As soon as I do take a knockout, that Umbreon is going to be able to retaliate for 120 damage, which is perfect to knock out my Volcanion. So definitely a tough route. I'm glad that I didn't end up using Megaton Friends because we are going to want to rely on a Double Blaze GX here eventually. And we saw that Acerola definitely coming in clutch, but you see how grindy this list can be with no EX, GX Pokemon and relying on the greens exploration engine. We are definitely at the whim of our deck every turn, and then we have to kind of take the correct path every single turn to be able to really succeed. So I think here that I want to greens exploration. Just gonna find some other stuff. We can go get a switch, a Heat Factory, kind of like those. That's good. Kukui, we kind of really need to take Kukui while we're here. And I could just use, Heat Factory and Kukui is probably good. Just want to see more cards. So we'll play the Heat Factory and use it. See what we can get. I have double, 2 Choice Bands. Not going to be super relevant for us. Now, something cool that I can do is, we need to find time to Welder, which is frustrating, and we need to Kukui in the same turn. So I probably should have attached that energy to the bench. It's fine. We're just gonna High Heat Blast here. And then next turn, I can attach an energy, and I can High Heat Blast again with Kukui, but I really want to get a one-hit KO. It's just kind of an awkward situation that we are in. Eventually, I can rely on Max Potion to try and glance off one of these hits, but as it is, we're kind of trading 2-hit KO for 2-hit KO, so it's more or less fine, just extraordinarily grindy. Maybe if I can eventually fall behind in prizes, we can use Lieutenant Surge's strategy to really come back from behind here. But we see how tough of a situation I would be if my opponent were to disrupt my hand at all, because of just the nature of this deck needing to kind of build up its hand to be good, to look right, in order to take specific knockouts. So we'll just High Heat Blast here and take this dude out with Kukui. That's probably fine. Then we're just going to get knocked out in return by an Umbreon. Not exactly what we want, but it's all good. I can just do that. I don't think that there's too much else I need out of here with that Nest Ball. Nope, don't want to bench a Charizard yet. We will throw these into play in case I do get judged. Kukui, and we've got greens and another Kukui. So that's actually pretty good. I do like that. And we'll just High Heat Blast for knockout. Then my opponent's going to be able to return the knockout. There's my Max Potion. They'll go to 4 prizes. If I do let them skip ahead, I think we're in a fine spot. What's up, Sean?
Where'd you get all these boxes from?
These are in the back, in the garage.
Where at in the
They are up top. There were a few of them. They are from when we sold bulk. We had some extras.
They were like in the top
In the
shelf?
garage, yeah, up top. Yes, looking for 4 and 5 row boxes. Always a struggle when you work at a card shop. They definitely tend to run low. Here's the Stealthy Hood that we were talking about earlier. Umbreon in the active position. Definitely not where we want to be. So, it's Fire Crystal. Get some energy back from the discard pile. And we're probably going to want to shuffle some Volcanions back into the deck and just start to Flare Starter to accelerate some more energy into play. So I'm thinking that we are going to need to power up a Reshiram Charizard here just eventually, and now feels like a pretty decent time to do that. So we'll go here and Welder onto the Charizard. That seems okay. Guess if they do have a Guzma, that would be unfortunate, but I think I'm fine with it. And then, I mean, we could always Max Potion and try again, right? And then we're just going to Flare Starter. I don't think that they're going to be able to knock out my Volcanion this turn. They have no way of really doing that since I didn't aggress or take a knockout. And if we do fall behind on prizes, we are kind of in a decent spot since I'll be able to do things like Welder and Kukui in the same turn. You can see this is a really, really grindy matchup, though. Definitely a thinker of a deck to play. I noticed when I was playing it on stream, it was very easy to just take a suboptimal route with Green's Exploration, and then you lose the whole game just because you didn't get the exact correct 2 cards. Feels similar in a way to playing Stall, actually, because of the selection power that you have out of your deck, having to rely on Steven's Resolve in the Stall deck to get the exact 3 cards that you need to progress your game state forward. Similarly here, we're using Green's Exploration to select the exact 2 cards we want to progress our game state forward, and we just got a whole mess load of Hoopas here that we have to take out. We also have to look out for this thing, which can deal like 180 damage, 160 damage when it has all its damage counters on it, and with the Devoured Field can deal 170. So if they do hit into my Reshiram and Charizard, that could be problematic. It looks like they're about to Lily here, burning all those Pokegears down. That or they just straight up did whiff all those Pokegears, which would be pretty devastating. But we've just got a straight up board full of Hoopas at this point, and they do have the Lily. 3 Hoopas. Definitely going to be a grinder. And this deck is a tough deck to play against. I've seen it pop up from time to time. I heard it was popular in Japan, so I'm not terribly surprised to see it here on PTCGO. See, we could always, I think I'm looking to just Welder again and get another Volcanion into play is probably my best case scenario. We could Max Potion this Volcanion and Welder again. though that's not good. All right, let's Rescue Stretcher. I think we're going to just shuffle 3. Yep. I want to put those guys back into my deck. And then I am being low-key kind of rushed here by the timer. We see just how tough it is to get the exact route that you want with this deck. We can greens. I could get custom catchers. I could target down something else like that Eevee. That doesn't really make any difference. The Spirit Tomb could be a pain to deal with. Could also Kukui and just knock out the Hoopa and take another prize. Kind of into that. And then I could Welder for knockout. Let's just do that. Kukui. And we've got the double custom catcher, so I think we're already kind of invested here into high heat blasting for knockout. Seems fine. We'll just do that. And then next turn, I could Welder and attach and double custom catcher, and I could take out a Hoopa with Reshiram Charizard's GX attack is an option. Just really tough. Now, they are promoting Umbreon, and it might get to a spot where they're kind of on the attachment with their energy attachments. I think that's where they're at now. So it shouldn't be very easy for them to stream attacks here unless I target down this Spirit Tomb. Spirit Tomb for just 1 energy will be able to deal 160. So that is something that I have to look out for. If they soften up my Reshiram Charizard at all, that can definitely be problematic. I probably want to save my custom catchers though, since those are going to be a valuable resource for kind of getting around Hoopa to take my final few prizes. So I'm still not behind on prizes. I don't think I will go behind on prizes necessarily. Let's just get a Volcanion. I could get another Charizard and we could just... No, I kind of want to force... Definitely want to force like a bigger than 3 prize game. So I got Fire Crystal. I can bring those fires back from the discard pile. That's pretty good. And then we're probably just looking at Weldering again. I can Welder to the benched Volcanion. That seems fine. And we're going to go here. Draw 3 cards. That's all pretty good stuff. And then I could definitely just Flare Strike. I have the option to Max Potion this next turn, which will be kind of tough on my energy and my resources. I need to count how many energy I have left in the deck. I have all 3 Fire Crystals in the discard pile at this point. So I do have to kind of tread carefully, but I like having... he's attaching to the Hoopa, which means that he doesn't have the dark energy for his Spirit Tomb this turn, and I'm going to get a free turn to attack. That's really good for me because I just get another turn. That's all I need at this point. With only 2 prizes remaining, we definitely just need 1 more turn so that then I can custom catcher around whoever for game, and I know my opponent has no way of one-hit KOing my Reshiram and Charizard GX. So sure enough, we are in. I could just Guzma up this Eevee, and we're going to take it out with this Volcanion. That's fine. And I'll just get my 5th energy here on my Reshiram Charizard ready to go for the game-winning GX attack if I have to, so that I can take out one of these Hoopas. Now, opponent has given me the well played. I don't think they've got any secret spice up their sleeve that's going to allow them to take out my Reshiram Charizard. So that is it. Winning the first one there. Definitely a grindy game, but I'm telling you, almost every game I play with this list does feel grindy. And I think it's very funny that Kian and Alex, actually Alex said that he felt like his second place Reshiram Charizard list was inconsistent, which I thought was wild. How does an inconsistent list win, get second place, win $2,500 at a regional championships? Kian said that he didn't think his list was very good. How does a deck that is not very good win a regional championships with 500 players? Definitely some interesting stuff here. I think just the power of Reshiram and Charizard alone is enough to take down a regional championships, and that's kind of what we saw Obviously, both Alex and Kian are top-notch players. They are very, very good. And I'm sure that Kian just made optimal choices all day with his greens explorations and was able to use the little Volcanion to his advantage to force his opponents into compromising situations. Looks like we got another Greninja and Zoroark deck, or another dark deck, featuring Greninja and Zoroark Tag Team GX. Should be pretty favorable for us since we could just take some huge one-hit KOs on this thing. We've got turn 1 Nest Ball for Volcanion, and we're going to get to use that Flare Starter attack here on the first turn to accelerate 3 energy onto our Reshiram Charizard. So we definitely love that and are going to take advantage of it here. I don't think that there's too much reason to Pokegear until after maybe I thin my deck a little bit. So we're just going to go get 3 energy, throw them onto our Reshiram Charizard, and go from there. I don't think that my opponent is going to be able to get any sort of substantial aggression going on here with their Greninja and Zoroark on the second turn of the game. They may be able to perhaps knock out my Volcanion, in which case I can greens for a Choice Band and a Fiery Flint to just get the energy I need in my hand to knock this dude out in one hit. We'll see what they got with Wonder Tag. These Darkness decks are not something that we saw do very well at the Santa Clara Regional Championships. I think Greninja and Zoroark, definitely a Pokemon that has some potential. It's just the speed, the aggression, the power level of this format feels like it is just a little bit too high for Greninja and Zoroark. I was happy to see that the decks that I considered to be the top 4 decks in standard format did make their way into the top 8 of the Santa Clara Regionals. Always nice to have a little bit of reassurance there. So that was really cool. But yes, no dark decks making their way into top 8. We had Stall, PikaRom, and Charizard and Zapdos all featured there, though I was wrong about the variant of Zapdos. We saw a lot of fighting Zapdos variants, even though I don't like fighting Zapdos personally. I have to admit that it is definitely good, right, because we did see it do well. So I am going to get Fiery Flint and probably also Welder at this point. Yeah. Fiery Flint. I need fires to my hand. Stat. And then we also probably need Welder in this hand as well, so we can just start to get some more energy into play. Seems good. That I could get like a Kukui and switch, something like that. We're probably cool with these. And we'll just Fiery Flint, get rid of that, and I think the Pokegear, kind of like having another Volcanion. Get all these energy out of the deck. There's actually not a whole lot of energy in this deck. That's kind of wild. And then I can just soften this dude up. That's fine. And we'll bench another Volcanion just in case we need it. But I'll just high Heat Blast for 110 into a Tag Team GX. Feels pretty good here. And that is one of the best things about playing Volcanion is that we just get to kind of pad our Reshiram and Charizard GXs with this non-GX wall. 120 hit points is pretty substantial. And we really get to bide our time while we set up our board in that way. I think at this point, I am just going for it. We can Greens Exploration for a switch. I guess we could go for double Custom Catcher and just bring that dude out, which would be pretty insane, right? I could retreat manually and just go get him. You guys want to go get him? We're going to go get him. All right, let's do that. Sure, let's have a little fun. And we've got the manual retreat. This thing, what? Dark and Psychic, that is not something that I qualify for, but it's fine. Just going to double Custom Catcher up. I think, honestly, the Darkrai Prism Star is kind of like the scariest thing since it gives this Greninja and Zoroark more potential damage output. So, kind of cool with just taking that out with Flare Strike. Well, 3 prizes also just feels really good. I don't think he's going anywhere if I take out the 3 prizer. So let's just do that. And then, I guess, yeah, I could have just taken it out with Volcanion. It's cool. We're just going to go in with Reshiram Charizard. I could have attached the Choice Band to the Volcanion. We would have just taken that dude out there with the, we just would have taken him out with the Volcanion. But math is hard. I wasn't quite there yet. Yep, High Heat Blast, 110 plus 30, 140 plus 110 would have been 250 for exact math there. I don't think that my opponent's going to be able to do too much of anything with Reshiram and Charizard kind of breathing down its neck, though. So we should be cool here. 3 Welders in my hand. That's pretty insane. And having taken half of the game's prizes already, we're kind of cool, right? We should just be okay. Though retreating the Volcanion when I didn't have to does feel a little bit bad. But we should be fine here. I don't feel too much aggression coming from my opponent's side. They just keep retreating into Darkrai and stuff, and I'll just be able to kind of brute force this one. Just Welder back to our... I guess I still have not GX'd yet, so that's kind of where I'm at. I think we just Welder onto Volcanion. Feels fine, and then I only really need to do 200 damage with the GX attack, so we're just going to do that, and then I just have Guzma for game on whoever with Flare Strike. So just that easy to take out huge Pokemon and just brute force our way into wins with the Reshiram and Charizard GX deck. Definitely a fun deck to play, a challenging deck to play as well. Like I said, Green's Exploration really opens the deck up and forces you to choose correctly every single turn with your path. It's a deck that just gets you thinking multiple turns in advance every single turn, which is really tough when you're trying to map out your ways to victory. So definitely a deck that I suggest practicing with if you're going to take it to a tournament. And then we have just got the Flare Strike there for game. We'll roll one more with Kian's Reshiram and Charizard deck, see what we can come up with here, see if we can get a little bit more of a challenge for our Reshiram and Charizards that unfortunately did not put up much of a fight. But I'm interested in kind of getting more games under my belt with this Green's Exploration based Reshiram and Charizard deck. It should be interesting to kind of compare it against the Dedenne Jirachi version. Obviously, Kian did come out on top against Alex Szymanski in the finals. I think I heard somewhere that Alex Szymanski did not draw very well in his finals. Maybe started at Tapu Lele and ended up using Kiawe onto Tapu Lele, which is definitely not where you want to be in the finals of regional championships against a deck like Reshiram and Charizard. And I think for all of its kind of baggage as a deck, the deck is just so straightforward. We didn't even start a supporter, but I'm still just threatening like turn 2 Flare Strike for insane amounts of damage here pretty simply. So we'll just bench that, see what my opponent's got going on, and go from there. This hand is not good, but it almost just doesn't matter, right? We're still going to be able to get a turn 1 Flare Starter, accelerate 3 energy onto our Reshiram Charizard. No supporters needed, no nothing. And then we've just got Eevee Snorlax in the hand as well, another fire energy that we can attach and maybe High Heat Blast on turn 2 and go from there. Once the Volcanion gets knocked out, we do have Fire Crystal, and we can use that to get the energy back and kind of swing in with our Flare Strike attack. Looks like we're playing against a Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX deck. I think that this matchup is very close. I've heard a lot of very polarizing opinions about it. I've heard people say it's a wash for Charizard. I've heard people say that it is a, positive matchup for Pikachu and Zekrom. And it looks like they are playing the beloved Order Pad version. That is my favorite way to play this deck. So props to you, J-Star, for playing what I believe to be the optimal version of Pikachu and Zekrom with Order Pads, busted Order Pads. And they may get the best of us here. It looks like I do not have too much going on. This is why I benched my 1 Reshiram Charizard. We are afraid of the Let Loose. And it looks like they are still playing Ray in here as well. So that is pretty awesome to see. This is just a turbo Pikachu and Zekrom deck with Lele, Rayquaza, and all. I'm interested to see if they do have Dedenne GX in their deck too. Fortunately, all we really needed to get going is the Flare Starter, so we don't actually need all that much. I can Pokegear, see if I have a supporter. We got Acerola and Lieutenant Surge, so grab the Lieutenant Surge just in case we need it, but I'm thinking that I kind of want to save my Fire Energy and Heat Factory for next turn. We're just going to Flare Starter. 3 energy onto my Reshiram and Charizard here on the bench. And then next turn, if they knock out my Volcanion, I can just go Lieutenant Surge, Heat Factory, Guzma, and then if we find another supporter, we'll be able to do that as well. They are really hot on these order pads right now, and when the order pads are hot, what can I say? They are hot. They've got Ultra Ball. Let's see if they go for a Dedenne or maybe a Tapu Koko Prism Star. They've got the Prism Star. They'll be able to throw some energy down, and then I believe that they have a supporter as their final card in hand, since they did Ultra Ball away some Cynthias we saw there. And it's a Cynthia. So they'll get a fresh hand of 6. They're looking for an energy and an energy switch in order to perform their attack. That's a 2-card combo that would get them there. They still need to retreat this Tapu Lele. They still need to throw another energy on that PikaRom. If they have the Tapu, or if they have the Thunder Mountain Prism Star, that would do it. And it looks like they've got it. They wouldn't promote this Pikachu and Zekrom unless they had it. The Thunder Mountain will do it. And I'm going to go behind on prizes. We are just kind of at the whim of whatever we get off our top deck or off this Heat Factory, though. We need to find a greens so that I can go get a Choice Band. I don't think I want to Guzma at all. If this dude puts all the energy onto his active, he's going to be really sick. I know. Yeah, definitely don't do that, my man. Do not do that. Because I've got a 3-energy Charizard here ready to go. And we've got a Welder that's pretty good. I think that we need to... we're going to Lieutenant Surge. We're behind on prizes. We're going to put the Heat Factory into play. We're going to discard that. Professor Kukui actually gets us there, but we need a Fire Energy. Oh, how devastating is that? Okay. I think we just Kukui and hope we draw a Fire. We did not. I get one more supporter. If I could find a greens... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh, this is insane. We have to judge for it. That or I Guzma up. I could Guzma up the Zeraora. I've Kukui'd. All I need is a Fire Energy, though. That is so close. I would love to take 3 prizes on this Pikachu and Zekrom. And I have a feeling like my opponent could probably knock me out next turn if I go for the Guzma play. So... it's really tough. I mean, guaranteed 2 prizes is so good. But I don't really want to waste my GX attack on that if I can help it. So we're going to thin and then Judge looking for a Fire Energy. And we got it. So we have got the Kukui Flare Strike here for knockout. That is amazing. We've got a attachment there. Nest Ball can just go get myself another Volcanion if I need it. I don't think I will. But we're just going to... play the hand down and Custom Catcher to draw more cards, kind of churn through our deck a little bit. Just feel comfortable nest balling again. And then we're going to Flare Strike for knockout. That Kukui really coming in clutch. That was a crazy turn, guys. That was nuts. The Lieutenant Surge, the Kukui, and the Judge all in the same turn. Absolutely wild. And now we are pretty close to just being able to wrap this game up. I just need to get some energy into play. I can Welder onto another Reshiram and Charizard. Hopefully they don't knock out my active this turn, though they could if they hit enough Electro Powers with the Zeraora. Plasma Fist, they need a lot of damage buffs to hit that 270. I mean, they are not very close right now. With a Choice Band, they're at 190. Then plus 3 E-Powers, I think they do have access to that. 3 E-Powers would put them at 280. Here's Dedenne GX. They're going to go for it, see what they got. They already placed 1 E-Power into play, but they just have so much work to do here in order to take this game. They got the second one, though, so that means if they have an E-Power in hand or a Choice Band, 160 plus 90, that'll only get them to 250. They still need 2 damage buffs. And they haven't played a supporter yet. But I know at this point they're probably low on supporters, so they might not even have one. See what it's going to be. They got Ultra Ball. And perhaps they're going to let loose and dig a little bit more. I could see that. They've got Ultra Ball getting rid of Acerola. And they might just go for that second let loose to try their luck. But they need a lot more in order to take this knockout. It does not feel good. If I'm them, I don't really mind a Tingly Return GX to just... Oh, wow. They got Pikachu and Zekrom. Do they just have double energy switch and a supporter? That would be insane. They pivot over to this guy here this turn. That is not something that I'm expecting to see. But they could win the game that way if they damage this Reshiram Charizard. Whoa! Here he comes. Do they have it? They're going to Viridian. I'm assuming there's at least one energy switch in that hand. And a supporter to play for turn. So they're going for it here. They need to Tag Bolt for knockout. They just don't. They don't have it. They're passing. Oh, that feels so bad. We have just got Fire Crystal here. If we hit one more energy off, which is actually guaranteed to us because we have the Viridian, we can just GX this PikaRom. Why did you give it to me? We were having such a close game. So we have it. I actually don't need another energy. We're just flexing at this point, which feels bad. But yeah, we got it. So that would have been 300 damage with Reshiram and Charizard. Kian Amini's Reshiram Charizard deck, everybody. That is it. Definitely an interesting way to play Reshiram Charizard. Definitely grindy. Definitely hurts my brain. But it is a lot of fun. So give it a try. And let me know what you guys think of Kian's Reshiram and Charizard deck featuring Eevee Snorlax in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to check out my Twitch streams on twitch.tv/TrickyJim, where I stream every single weekday. This week, we are doing giveaways every single day on Twitch in order to gain hype for the Nick Bailey Open, a charity event to support brain cancer treatment and awareness this weekend, Saturday. So make sure to tune in. We're doing giveaways every single weekday, and we are also donating all the bits that we earn on Twitch this week to the Nick Bailey Open for brain cancer treatment. So thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell, check out fullgripgames.com. We are cracking tons of Team Up and Unbroken Bonds product this week, which we are going to be putting on the website as well. So stay tuned for that. That is happening shortly also. And big shout out to Sarah, my Blastoise tier Patreon sub. Y'all rock. Take it easy. Have a great day. Peace.